I'm back.
John Wick has emerged as one of this decade's best action heroes, and from his movies, he looks unstoppable. But is that really the case? What if John Wick was up against some truly worthy contenders like Batman or Jason Bourne? Do you think John Wick has what it takes to take on some of the best action heroes in all of pop culture? Well, that's what we're here today to find out. So check out our video today pitting John Wick against some seriously dangerous folks to see who wins. But no matter who comes out on top, the real winner is us, because these fights would be amazing to witness. Let's get into it right now. Bond, James Bond. Meet Wick.
Good night, Jimmy.
John Wick. The debonair super spy James Bond is an icon when it comes to the spy world. Everyone knows his name. Wait, doesn't that technically make him the world's worst spy? Anyway, if James Bond was pitted against John Wick, how do you think that will go? I'm sorry, Bond fans, but I think John Wick would completely destroy Bond. 007's method of taking down bad guys is all about infiltration and stealth, but that wouldn't work against such an unrelenting force of nature like John Wick. The only thing Bond could do would be to prepare for an assault like he did in Skyfall. But even then, John Wick has proven nothing can stop him when he's on a mission, so any defense Bond puts up will be easily overcome by the super assassin. Plus, Bond loves to banter with his enemies.
It's a waste of good scotch.
But I think any attempts to banter with John Wick won't go well because Wick isn't some smooth-talking super spy in need of cool one-liners.
The typical deal.
He's a wrecking ball that will smash everything in his sights without any hesitation. Bond may have cool gadgets that can help him out of a bind, but Wick would never let Bond use them with his take-no-prisoners approach. Wick wins. Man, what I would give to see John Wick go up against the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, the world's greatest detective, Batman. Yes, I think Batman would make an excellent antagonist for John Wick because on one hand, you have a superhero vigilante who doesn't like guns for the most part, and then on the other hand, you have a super assassin who's practically part gun at this point. I'd love to see a cat and mouse chase between John Wick and Batman, as you have to wonder who will find whom first. But if you stick them both in a giant warehouse and tell them to fight it out, who wins? Sorry, John, in this matchup, I definitely gotta go with Batman. Not that John Wick would be unprepared by any means, but you would expect Batman to have used his billionaire resources to find out everything about John Wick's past and use that to his advantage. John Wick may be able to use the dark to his advantage, but Batman has true mastery over the shadows. It's going to be close though. Batman a lot of the time relies on his enemy's fear to get them to make a mistake, but John wouldn't be afraid at all. So it just comes down to when they fight. Who would win, and thanks to Batman's suit and his extensive gadgets, the Caped Crusader is gonna win. Jason Bourne is everyone's favorite amnesiac assassin, and I know I'm not the only one who wants to see Bourne fight John Wick. In many ways, Jason Bourne and John Wick feel like they could be part of the same world. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to see John Wick coming after Bourne in a Bourne movie, or Bourne to come after Wick in a John Wick movie. So that's what makes this fight between the two so interesting. Plus, having an assassin who doesn't remember his past go up against another assassin who desperately wants out of the business just sounds like an interesting conflict. If it's a straight-up gunfight, then I think John Wick wins pretty easily. Sure, Jason Bourne has proven himself adept at any weapon he handles, but Wick just seems like he's on a whole different level. A much closer fight would be if the two engaged in hand-to-hand combat. Bourne seems like one of the best straight-up fighters in the game right now, and he'd certainly give Wick a run for his money. But I think Wick has shown an incredible resilience against superior hand-to-hand fighters, and all it takes is Bourne to make one mistake before Wick has the upper hand and ends the fight. So yeah, Wick beats Bourne. Alright, who has more dedication? John Wick when he's defending a puppy, or Tyler Rake when he's defending a kid? I don't know, man, both are pretty much unstoppable in that situation. This one is a true toss-up, because it could go either way. Both are so well trained in machine guns, pistols, knives, and hand-to-hand combat that it's going to be a spectacularly bloody and epic battle. By the closest of margins, I'm giving it to the Boogeyman. Mainly just because it looks like John Wick can take gunshots to his body and keep moving much better than Tyler can. John Wick can certainly handle a lot, but even he will probably be beaten by the merc with the mouth, Deadpool. John's whole thing is unloading an extraordinary amount of bullets into his enemies until they stop moving. There's really been no threat or problem that John couldn't solve with more bullets. Oh, is that bad guy still standing after a few bullets? Better shoot him some more. But the thing is, that's obviously not going to work with Deadpool, as the antihero has one of the best regeneration skills in the entire Marvel universe. No matter what gun John has in his arsenal, be it a pistol, machine gun, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, etc., those aren't going to stop Deadpool. And as soon as Deadpool gets close with his swords, then John is in serious trouble. Seeing John and Deadpool have an epic sword fight would be awesome, but really, it's John fighting a losing battle. John can outmaneuver Deadpool as long as possible, but it doesn't matter when Deadpool is practically immortal. It's gonna end with Deadpool getting the final blow against the assassin. Sorry, John. As much as you would probably love to shut Deadpool up, it's probably not gonna happen. Ethan Hunt from the Mission Impossible franchise has been kicking butt on screen for what feels like 60 years now, and yet he never looks that much older. But then again, John Wick also looks ageless, so maybe it would be a fair fight. Ethan Hunt is one of the greatest spies in the world, and he will always choose to accept the mission in front of him. But if his mission was to eliminate John Wick, do you think he would be a little hesitant to accept? I know I would be. Besides his awesome skills and tendency to involve himself in crazy, death-defying stunts, the biggest advantage that Ethan Hunt would have would be his team. The last few movies have shown just how effective a good team can be in completing difficult missions, and that's kind of the opposite of John Wick. Sure, he teamed up with Halle Berry in the last movie, but mostly John is a lone wolf. And really, I don't think any of Ethan's tricks would work on Wick. If Hunt's team tried to pull the mask trick with John, it wouldn't matter as John would just shoot everybody in his way regardless. So I'm giving this one to John Wick. John Wick may not have superpowers, but he does have one thing going for him: his incredible luck. In all three of his movies, John Wick has gone up against hundreds of bad guys, but all of them seem to have spectacularly bad aim. Sure, his suit is bulletproof, but you would think someone would land a headshot on John at least accidentally. It's just statistics. So what would happen if John went up against a true marksman? Someone who's famous for never missing a shot? Yeah, that's right. What if John Wick took on Deadshot? If it's just hand-to-hand combat, then John Wick would probably win, but Deadshot always has a weapon in his hand, so more likely than not, this is going to be a gunfight. And unfortunately for John, it's going to be over relatively quickly. Deadshot knows how to aim for the head and not the body, so John can wear any sort of special suit he wants, but as long as his head is exposed, then Deadshot is going to win the fight. It would be so sad to see John wiped out so easily, but that's what happens when you go up against someone who never misses. There's been a pattern for the types of assassins that John fights. Usually they come out guns or fists first because they're so confident they're going to win. Most assassins greet John with a smile and this sort of cocky arrogance that we just know is going to change in a few seconds when they actually start fighting John. That's why I think a fight against Black Widow would be interesting. Sure, Black Widow is confident in her abilities, but she knows when she's up against a stronger opponent. She wouldn't be one to just straight up attack John unless she knew she would win. More likely, Black Widow would probably pull a Winston, meaning she would wait until John's guard is down and then strike. I could see her pretending to be John's friend and then shooting him when the right opportunity presents itself. Hand-to-hand combat-wise, we've seen some of the crazy stuff that Black Widow can do, and it would certainly be a close fight if it was just straight-up physical combat. But again, I don't think Black Widow would put herself in that position, and she'd only attack John once she knows she's gonna win. So my point goes to Black Widow. Bryan Mills may not have a lot, but he does have a
Particular set of skills.
skills that make him a nightmare for people like John Wick. Alright, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't think Bryan Mills would be a nightmare for John. More like I think Mills would be one of those bad dreams that you forget about almost immediately after waking up. I'm not throwing shade on Bryan Mills' skills. It's just that I think John is just that good. Now I think Bryan is probably super talented in tracking John Wick down if Wick was off the grid or something, but I don't really like Bryan's chances once the two actually meet up. Bryan is great with guns and with hand-to-hand combat, but John has proven he's just better in every way. Any trap that Bryan sets, John will foresee, and any fight the two end up with will end with John winning. The only way Bryan has a chance is if John for some reason kidnapped his daughter. Maybe that would give Bryan the added anger and rage to pull out a victory. But since I don't see John doing that at all, John would definitely win this fight. Alright, this one is really unfair to John Wick, but I would love to see him go up against Neo, mainly because it would give us all a chance to see Keanu Reeves versus Keanu Reeves. And the only thing better than one Keanu Reeves is two Keanu Reeves. And that's a fact. So is there any way at all that John Wick could win against Neo? Truthfully, no. Neo is the chosen one. If they're fighting in the Matrix, then Neo is basically a god who has super speed and can fly. So it doesn't matter how many bullets or guns John Wick has because they're gonna be ineffective. Can't really shoot a guy who can dodge all the bullets shot at him, right? And although John Wick has some amazing fight skills, you can't win against the kung fu mastery of Neo. The only way John could win is if Neo took pity on John because of how handsome he thinks he is and gives up. Otherwise, Neo would just destroy John Wick and it wouldn't be close. What do you think? Do you agree with our fight outcomes? Is there anyone else you want to see John Wick fight? Let us know in the comments below and be sure to hit that subscribe button for more awesome John Wick content like this. Thanks for watching CBR. See you next time.